for you. We are serving Jesus. And Paul reminds us in Colossians at the end of that passage that it's Jesus who will give us the reward for that. Now listen, it's not your boss that's giving you the bonus that you're after. It's the reward that Jesus is giving you through a faithful, obedient lifestyle of a work ethic that is actually bringing glory to God. The easy life is the good life is sometimes what we communicate to our children. So parents, sometimes we tell our children that God has a dream for you. Have you ever said that to a child? God has a dream for you. God has a vision for you. God has a plan for you. Think back to times when you might say these things to your children. Because sometimes we teach our children that. God has a dream, God has a plan, and then we succumb to lesser lives. Listen, we succumb to lesser lives. We don't live as if God has a dream for us. We don't live as if God has a plan for our life. We succumb to lesser lives, lesser education, lesser careers, lesser abundant life. We just don't live that way. And so our children grow up and they go, I don't see this dream that God has. You told me about it. You've shared with me about it. But Mom, I don't see it. Dad, I don't see it. So is that a lie? You see, it's a pitfall that we can fall into with our children. The easy life is the good life, meaning that our days matter in front of our children. And this stretches across all socioeconomic classes. If you're wealthy in the room, but everything is just easy street, and you have not achieved your spiritual potential, you may have made a lot of money, but you've not achieved your spiritual potential, your God-given dream and vision that's there for you. You've communicated to your children something totally different about life. Similarly, for those that might find themselves in a hard hole in life, maybe you're in here and you're in that lower class portion of life right now, but yet maybe it's just sit back, relax, and just pray that something different happens and we don't continue to try because life has dealt us a bad hand. Because life has given us some lemons and we refuse to make lemonade. And our children are watching that and saying, well, I guess when the going gets tough, we just sit on our porch and just relax and just try to enjoy the easy life. I know that this is difficult to hear this morning in some ways because what I'm praying for is that one of these pitfalls grabs a hold of your life like several of them have grabbed a hold of mine, and that we hear them and go, wow, God. I didn't think about it in terms of what it was doing to my children or grandchildren. I was only thinking about it in what it was doing in my own life, and I didn't necessarily think that it would have that great of an impact in my children. So then the sixth one, the one that I think that we can probably all relate to. If you don't get your way, get mad. If you don't get your way, get mad. How often do we communicate that to our children? If you do not get your way, get mad. It's an unchecked rage. It's a life lived in anger. Some of us in here were angry people. We put on a face. You just got out of the car yelling and screaming or whatever, you know, but you're angry and your children know it. And you're living that right in front of them, a life of anger. And James tells us in your study guide in chapter 1 that we should be slow to anger because it doesn't produce the righteousness of God in our lives. And so parents, think about it for a minute. We instruct our children that getting full throttle angry is unacceptable behavior. I don't think there's anyone in here that has said to their child, if you are, please stop. But, I don't think there's anyone in here that would say, son, I think it's awesome that you fly off the handle. When you did that thing the other day and you just ripped your mother or your sister or whatever, great job. You keep that up, you're going to go far. I don't think any of us in here says that. But what is it that we communicate with our life? What is it that they're seeing in your vehicle, in your home, with your spouse? Do they see you in constant anger mode? Do they see you at the dinner table, my boss is right? Or you won't believe what so-and-so did. Ripped me off, well, he's going to get what he deserves. And there you are, right? And your child's just like, so that's how you do it right there. Think about it. Oh, my favorite is, and I'm right there in this camp, is, I've had to take a lot of communion. We're going to take communion over this one and ask God's forgiveness in all sincerity. But, how about strangers? People you don't even know. How about customer service people? Your DirecTV or cable goes out, right? Your phone bill, your cell phone bill gets charged up something crazy high and you're not happy about it. Something breaks in your house and you're calling the repairman or whatever, or you want some warranty or insurance to pay for something and cover something, right? And there you are on the phone with little Johnny right next to you, you're gonna get your down here and fix this right now, blah, 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 right? Bang! Yeah! Huh? Oh yeah. And little one right there is going, yeah, can't wait till I get older, that looks good. So that's how you give it to someone, Dad. You see, if you don't get your way, you get mad. Our behavior matters. And so, what I've just taken you through in the church is what's known as the 7 deadly sins. It's the 7 deadly sins, and we talked about the problem at the beginning of this message, is there exists in all of us a deadly ride with pride. There exists in every single one of us a deadly ride with pride. And now my minivan, my ride, reminds me every single day right now until I get that thing fixed. Just yesterday, my 4-year-old daughter walking out to the van, we're getting in, we're all going to go have a wonderful Saturday as a family. And she says, Daddy, right there's where you hit that post. Right there. I had to practice not participating in number 6. And so there's a solution so that Christian parents can try their hardest not to participate in these. And the solution is this: humility is our best utility. Humility is our best utility. To not let pride, to not be the guy driving through the parking garage going, I've got this. I've got this. God, I hear what you're saying. Or God, I don't really want to consult with you right now. I've got this. To avoid those pitfalls in life, humility is our best utility, And the last thing that I would share with you is in James, in chapter 3, and it'll be in your study guide, that where there is pride, there is disorder and chaos. Where there's pride, there's disorder and chaos. But James also shares in that same chapter that God's wisdom is pure. God's wisdom is pure and full of good fruit. And so when we come to God with humble hearts, we are employing the best utility that we have, is arriving in front of God and saying, God, I don't have this. I don't have it all figured out, and I need you. So back to the problem. Trust in the Lord with all your heart.